Alrighty, hey guys, let's switch the scene over. All right, today um, we're gonna be doing our community read and the regular readings with the green glyphs. So I'll be using the green glyphs oracle for. Let me turn this down more. I'll be using the Green Glyphs Oracle for our community read as normal. And if you would like a more in depth reading, I can pull some Oracle cards for you as well. Just use my tip link in the description. And I'll be using the Green Glyphs Tarot for all of the regular readings. All right, so we have Ari, Libra, and Midnight in the queue right now. I'm going to go ahead and get this all shuffled. And let me check my moon app. Today's the new moon in... Hey, G. Long time no chat. New moon in Cancer. All right. So I'm going to do a quick community read. I have not used this deck in a hot minute, but I pulled it out during my last live with Sil, and I'm like, you know what? It's time to pull this bad boy out. All right. I'm just going to get this nice and shuffled. Our first card here is going to be the Snail. Ooh, I feel like this new moon is saying, hey, this might be a period where we want to slow down, take a break. Let's see, pull some other cards. And then ironically, we have the Hummingbird. Okay. I feel like the Hummingbird is about like deliberate movement. Ooh, and then we have the Drain. Okay, so I'm going to use the guidebook that came with that just because I haven't used these cards in a while. I'm not quite intuitive with them yet. But give me 1 second. Oh, good. It's in alphabetical order. That makes this easy. Okay. So the Snail is about patience, being determined, but moving slowly. Gina, if you want to join the queue, use ! join, and I'll get you a reading. So yeah, I feel like I was kind of right on the money there with this Snail. Nice, kind of slow and steady, wins the race kind of energy right now with this new moon. And then we have the Hummingbird. And the Hummingbird is about quick lessons, daily changes, and basically just short and sweet energy. So I feel like this is saying, you know, like this is overall the period to just slow down, go with the flow. But you might notice some quick things that change around you. So while you are moving nice and easy through this next, I'll just say this next moon phase, things might be changing very quickly around you, but that doesn't mean that you need to veer off course to meet those changes. It's just something that you might be noticing. It says 2 hummingbirds zip in front of your view. They're only there for a few seconds, but you catch their iridescent shimmer and murmur something to yourself about the beauty of the world. So just as things are moving around you, take a moment to recognize them. But like I said, don't let them derail you from where you're going. And then we have the Drain. I feel like this is really where you're like, release the muck. Release all the things that don't serve you. So the Drain is detoxifying, removing negativity, release, all of that. So as you are slowly moving through the world, you let certain things zip around you and pay attention to the things that might seem interesting or beautiful, something that's worthwhile to notice. And then anything else, just let it flow on by and write out the drain. Really liking these cards. I don't know why I haven't used them in a hot minute. Okay, so up first I have Ari. Ari, go ahead and put your question in the chat. I know, Gina. I need to come up there and for a visit. It's been too long. I've been spying on your fiber work, and I've been loving it. I know, Midnight. James R. Eads, he always hits his mark. I'm very excited for the Cerulean numerology deck. I think that it fulfilled on Kickstarter, but I don't think it'll be delivered until November, I think. Okay, let's see. Let's see what the likelihood is of you getting accepted into, let's look at California. Let's just I'll just do my sort of comparison spread that I usually do. It gives kind of like an overview of your two different options / choices / paths / all the above. All right. So California, and then we have Florida. I would say that California, both options seem to be like you have good chances, but I think your chances might be better in California. So for California, you have the Six of Wands and the Page of Cups. For Florida, you have the Page of Wands and the Strength card. What I like here is both options have the pages, and the pages I consider to be like the students of the court cards. They're learning, and that I feel like that's representative of you being a student there. But now the difference here is we have the Six of Wands, which is really about like standing out amongst the crowd. There's this air of victory. You can kind of see like the baton being passed in a kind of way here. Whereas the Strength card here makes it seem like maybe it's going to be a much more difficult process. So Ari, my new rule for rejoining the queue basically is I'm willing to do extra readings. It seems what kind of mood I'm in. I'll definitely do it for tips, but if other people join, they get priority. But even though there's like this resiliency with the Strength card, I do think like this might indicate maybe some sort of roadblocks that you have to kind of be patient through and push through, like waitlisting or funding or something like that. This one seems much more clear cut, but I think both options overall seem to be like you're likely to get into either one. This just seems like you're likely to get in a little more easily. Also, too, I'll point out, since I mentioned the pages, so this one I feel like would be really good, like a good emotional journey for you with this Page of Cups here. Kind of, I guess, assuming the way that I look at it is that you really like love the school. And then this one here, you might find the school has really great options for you, where you start to discover something that you might be really passionate about that you didn't recognize before. So both options seem pretty good. Libra, go ahead, put your question in the chat. Yeah, I used to let people join twice, but then people would join twice and then other people would join, and it was like, it didn't seem fair. So depends on how busy it is and how busy I am. Right, Apollo? I don't know if you guys could hear that. Okay, Libra Queen, go ahead, put your question in the chat. I forgot how nice these cards shuffle. I can't riffle and bridge them though because they're so tiny, but I dig it. Could you hear him? I wasn't sure if you could hear him because of the new mic that I have. It doesn't pick up background noise enough, but he's quite a loud cat. Alrighty, Midnight. Go and put your question in the chat. Libra Queen, if you come back, you can rejoin at the end of the queue. Gina, you need to come see your nephew. He was wilding out when my friends were here. Jerica and Lauren visited from Texas, and you would have thought that he had never known the touch of a human. He was acting like I had never fed him a day in his life. He was really hamming it up. And it's sad that you guys can hear him. That's how loud he is. That's how loud you are. Ooh, yeah, summer energy vibe. Let's see. Ooh, I'll pull an oracle cards too. Like, let's see what your overall energy is gonna be. Ooh, tincture. I feel like tinctures are about like healing and okay, yep, self-healing remedies, herbs and medicine, internal knowledge. It says a tincture can hold anything your heart desires, medicine to heal your wounds, or poison for the bad thoughts. The question is, do you drink from the bottle or do you leave life unaltered? Ooh, so that is your question for the summer. Let's see what tarot has for you. Ooh. Oh, there are my rules right there. That's cool. All right. Oh, our first repeat, and it's back to back. Okay, so we have the Queen of Wands, we have the Page of Cups, and then we have the Nine of Stones. In this deck, the Nine of Stones, probably obvious to you, is the Pentacles. So I think that for you, I like that we have this sort of tincture here, right? So this is all about self-love, and there was also that element of discovery as well that I think is mirrored really well with the hi Sil, mirrored really well with the Page of Cups. So this is about learning about yourself, learning to love yourself, learning to love the things that you ultimately have discovered or rediscovered. And then going back to the Queen of Wands, this is where I feel like, you know, you start to, as you start to connect with yourself, like emotionally, this is where you can start to officially, it's okay, so this is where you can officially start to nurture yourself and nurture the things around you. This is where you start to find your inner passion and your inner strength, and just really come into yourself in regards to that. So I feel like there's something that you do in terms of maybe your health and self-care that really just ends up resonating with you this summer, and it really makes you feel like you're able to stand on your own 2 feet and you're making good choices. And it's like the summer is like your time to do that for some reason. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles along with all of this, right? So we have wands, but the queens really imbue that like water energy. We have water with the pages, and then we have earth with the pages, and then we have earth over here. So this is like the summer is where you start to feel a little more stable. You're finding like you're finding that you're able to be more grounded than perhaps you have been in the past. But the groundedness with the water, you're starting to feel like you're really blossoming. So the summer is like, weirdly, I associate that energy with the spring a lot because things are blooming, but I think that's really your summer energy right now. And the Nine of Pentacles, this is where you feel a little more luxurious, like you can treat yourself to things that you haven't been able to in the past. Not necessarily talking about decks, but we were talking about Sil's enabling videos, so maybe you treat yourself to something nice this summer. but also more importantly, treat yourself to something nice that you feel like helps you along this self-love, self-care, healing journey that you're on. Not to promote more enabling. But yeah, I love that. I love so with this deck, the colors are really like important. So you have a lot of yellows here, and yellows and greens in this deck are really like, sometimes they can be negative, but in this case, I feel like they are more so energetic. So while everything seems very smooth, right? I mean, except you have this Queen of Wands, there's a lot of energy here, but everything else seems very smooth, focusing on grounding and stability and stuff. I think there's still this element of energy, that you just get naturally from the summer. Syl says she's definitely promoting more energy. I mean, more enabling. Make sure I put these cards in upright. Alrighty, Gigi, you are up next. Tell me about it. My wallet has not been happy with me. Yeah, sure. All right, let's see. Whoops. Got away from me. I'm going to pull a quick oracle card as your focus of your general reading. Let's see, oracle card. Ooh, we have the goat. Greatest of all time. So the goat is making room, breaking down walls, fresh starts, and decluttering. It says for the goat, undeniably cute and increasingly annoying, a goat begins to devour everything in sight. The goat is a master declutterer and is symbolic of the need to make space for new growth. Soon this card too might be gone if you don't need the advice of the goat. Let go of what is no longer serving you. All right, so let's see, what could that be about? Let's look into that with the tarot. Next card. Ooh, this one. And one more. Okay, so we have, along with our goat of needing to declutter and release things, we have the World, we have the Nine of Wands, and then we have the Seven of Swords. So with the, sorry, my screen just kind of. So with the idea of needing to release stuff here, I feel like the World is very serendipitous. So it's like confirmation that you have wrapped up a large chapter and ready to move on to something new. And I worry that the feeling of having wrapped that up is maybe a little stressful. The Nine of Wands suggests that there's like an air of anxiety around that. So I don't see it necessarily as being a bad thing. It's just kind of the way of life, of cycles that we live in. So with this Nine of Wands being at the center of your tarot reading, I feel like there's a lot of anxiety and stress in regards to what that future might look like. And give me 1 second. This feels more like this. So the Seven of Swords, I reversed it. I had to look it up because my brain was not braining. But I feel like what's going on, as a result of the anxiety and stress is that you feel like whatever the next path that you're going to take, you don't belong in or you're not ready for. There's that air of imposter syndrome. Basically, the Seven of Swords upright is like about being deceptive, but like outwardly so. But in reverse, it's being more deceptive to oneself. So you're like putting these negative thoughts in your head about what the next steps are going to look like. But the reality is with this goat, it's saying that perhaps it's time that you declutter those thoughts from your head, declutter whatever physical things are tying you to those thoughts, and be confident in wrapping up whatever this current phase is right now. I would say too with Apollo, must you? Sorry, cat under my feet being Apollo. So altogether though, I feel like these things can be very fueling. So like the negative energy fuels the anxiety and the anxiety fuels the negative energy. So you need to find what it is that will break this cycle here. I think a lot of it does boil back down to our original card that we had with the goat, finding that ability to what did it say about the goat? To break down your own walls. There we go. So, but yeah, if you want a deeper reading on that, G, I'm happy to do that for you offline. As always. But I'm sure as I gave that reading, things were like popping in your head. It's good to have like a little mini reading, almost like a consultation, and then you can think about things before going in for another one. Yeah, Apollo is like under my feet for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, so you are up next. Hey, Queen Bee, welcome to the queue. Ooh. Let me grab my bones. You're welcome, G. I've not used my bones in a while still, so give me a sec. Make some room here. All right. Sorry, I generally do this like offline. I just haven't used my bones in a while, so they've been sitting. All right. I know, Gina. He loves me too much. He's gonna love me to death one day. He literally like tripped me as I was walking just because he wanted to rub my legs. All right, so general bone reading for July. Let me just wipe the spray off a little bit. Alrighty. Give me 1 second because I haven't done this in a bit, so I'm rusty. Ooh, okay. So glad I have my little cheat. I'm gonna move this up so you can see the bottom, and then I'll just move it around. Convincing me to break out the bones. I love it. All right. So down here, I'm going to actually take this off just because it's not amplifying anything. So down here we have, it looks like whatever changes that were happening financially are starting to be put behind you. And it's something that's been with you for a long time. And I feel like finally you're starting to be able to step out of it and feel like you can breathe, because you have your like financial things, a little bit of stress, anxiety, negativity around the thought of it, but all of your bones are up here. So I like that this change here is sort of separating you from some of the other things that are going on out here. So this is, where's the other one? Okay. So, and I think that is allowing you to open up to being able to reconnect with the relationships that are important to you. It feels very much like when it comes to like your collabs and stuff, especially because this is like financial, even though it's not like necessarily saying your salary or anything, just feels very much like how you are making money in some regard. So it doesn't have to be your livelihood. It just feels very like YouTube, Instagram, that kind of thing. So this, I think this is saying that you are starting to work through this. Still a little bit closed off here, so I'd be careful about that going forward. Try to find ways to open up or make time to open up. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I kind of went through that myself. When you're stressed, you kind of just want to like beat yourself, and things end up being piled up like that you have been wanting to do with people, and you just don't get a chance to do them. But as we go forward, I'll go over on this side. So we have, okay, 4. So right now, this is saying like, this is 4, this is being ruled by like air. So, you know, thoughtfulness, in sometimes internalizing things. We have, sorry, I can't see these because of the way my cameras are, so I'm gonna just pull them up. Okay. All right. So you have been working on some new opportunities behind the scenes. And I think here with this 8, you're kind of coming out on the other side of it. And I wonder if this is like also the fact that the stress of the like buildup of it, you're able to finally see the growth from whatever hard work you've been putting in the background. You have this growth here that's surrounded by your opportunities. And it seems like it might be something new that you weren't necessarily aware of as well. So that's kind of exciting. Over here, we see that you're starting to understand how to find that balance. We're kind of like, so this feels very like past, this feels like very present. And then I'll move this down and we'll get kind of into the future. Your present is working on finding balance between these new opportunities and your friends and your spiritual practice, and just starting to get all of that in order. And I think like seeing these two here, you're starting to understand how that's going to go in the future. You feel like you have the capability to do it. There's like a level of clarity that's happening. Let me scoot this down so you can see better. So that's really, really good. And then it points here to a few changes that are happening. I think that as you start to find balance, you'll start to see that change in how things are weighing on you mentally, like just being able to feel less overwhelmed. A lot of this stuff is going to open up. And the reason I like that, it doesn't feel like a roadblock in this sense, even though it's kind of going across here, because it's crossing paths with this clarity bone. So up here, It looks like you're making time for your family. You do have some sort of fears and stressors around that. So this feels like something separate, something new that's coming in. Um, uh, so we have the fear bone nestled into the, like, this is like our ability to adapt and change. So it feels like this might be causing some new frictions that might give you pause in the future, or you might already be starting to feel it in regards to family or like very, very close friends. So but you are a little separate. So it's not weighing you down, it's not blocking you, but it's something that's definitely important and has been something tangential to what you have going on. So you have some really cool things happening that are building up down here. Some it's stressors that I think, down here that you have successfully pushed yourself away from. But yeah, just keep an eye on it. Don't let it block you back up, especially because I mentioned, work on trying to release that stuff so you can sort of open yourself back up to the things that you want to do when it comes to community. And I'll pull like a quick little oracle card for you so we can see like the overall theme. Oh gosh, now Luna's in here. Hey Luke, welcome. All right. Ooh, you have the feather. So that's really cool because I mentioned that you had the dice that represented air. You're welcome. Thank you for bearing with me. I had to reconnect with my bones. So thank you for being that driving force. So the feather card is weightlessness, lightness, kindness, softness, releasing burdens, basically like freedom, feeling light and free. Hi, Luna. She says hi. Alrighty. So that was good. I feel like I need to just offer some bone readings. I think that's what I'll get back into on IG. Someone's laying on my foot. All right. Queen Bean, go ahead, put your question in the chat. Oh, Apollo's not laying on my foot. He's laying on a pillow. Sometimes they do tag team me. Queen Bee, I don't do how so-and-so feels, but I can do like the energy between you guys, if that's cool with you. Sounds good. Energy between Queen Bee and Raoul. One more. Whoop. I guess I'll take this one. Oh, you have major arcana cards. So things between you guys are undefined. Kind of have some sort of hope with the Lovers, but then it's mirrored with the Devil, and that doesn't always mesh well. So the Lovers card is generally not to be taken so literally. I feel like this being at the beginning of your reading is really indicative of the fact that you guys have not actually come to an actual term between you guys. So you might like him, maybe he likes you, but right now it's so indifferent that I don't think that we can really say right now. But I will say it doesn't feel horrible between you guys. It's just, I don't know that it's necessarily healthy. in a way. Like, I don't feel what I mean by that. Let me backtrack. What I mean by that is it doesn't feel like there's anything like malicious or any bad intentions. I just don't feel like things are well defined enough to make decisions, but I will read out some things to be cautious of moving forward. And then you can make the decision on what it is you want to do. So with the moon card being at the center of your reading, I feel like maybe you don't know Raul well enough to worry about how he feels about you, because I feel like whatever energy he might be giving off might be the opposite. So the moon can be about feeling like you see the full picture, but it's actually you're only seeing part of it, or you're only getting like the illusion or what people want you to see. So I wonder what's hiding under the surface. Now, it may not be malicious, it just may not necessarily benefit you. And when I say malicious, I mean like when it comes to romance, I mean, you know, like purposefully being cruel to someone, you know, but it could just be like dude's undetermined, or indifferent, and has been sort of wishy-washy. It's hard to tell, but I will say you're definitely not seeing the full picture of this person. And the Devil card makes me worry about your intention for him, and like, basically, are you seeing more into his actions than what's really there? The Devil card is about being sort of codependent. There's this like sort of like fun vibes, getting sucked into that kind of energy. So if there's someone who really is like charming and fun, but maybe they're like that with everyone, you're getting sucked in and you don't realize that this is just how he is. So because of that, you're not seeing the full picture of the situation. So that's kind of what I was getting at before by saying it's not necessarily malicious. It just might be that you're not on the same page. You may not even be in the same book. But I think what this reading, what I'll throw in my suggestion is for you to take a step back and reflect on your interactions in the past and compare that to his interactions with other people, and really decide for yourself if it's worth moving forward with, you know, the love interest, or just reeling it back and just going friends for now. So yeah, I will say ultimately there's nothing indicative of anything romantic. There's also nothing truly indicative of anything bad. So it feels very neutral. It just feels like perhaps maybe not the healthiest crush, I guess I'll call it. Oh yeah, that's a good point. I do close the queue around here, usually between now and like 7:50. Okay. Hey Fatima, actually I closed the queue, Fatima. Let me open it. If you want to join, go ahead and join real quick. Luke, go ahead, put your question in the chat. Hey Whimsically, long time no chat. It's nice to see all some old quote unquote faces. I know I've taken such a long break, so it's nice to see you guys. I should have known till it was almost time to close the queue when Luna came in. She has me on my P's and Q's. If it's not you warning me, then it's Luna. She's a true office manager. Okay, so I'll do this as like one of my comparison readings, similar to what I did earlier. So your connection to Cain. Connection to Sky. All right, last card, connection to Sky. So we have Cain, and then we have Sky. Ooh, we have our repeats. Oh, very similar energy. So I would say, I guess if I had to give you like a clear cut answer, I would say perhaps your connection with Cain is stronger than your connection with Sky. You have the Emperor and the Ace of Cups for Cain. You have the Queen of Stones, which is Pentacles, and then the Moon with Sky. So I feel like with Cain, it feels very much more like, I would say it's a stronger connection, but I'll describe what I'm seeing and you can determine if that's what you're looking for ultimately. So with Cain, it feels very much more like a very structured and stable connection between you two, but maybe a little rigid at times. Like there isn't a lot of like go with the flow, not quite enough like, you know, just chill vibes. It seems not necessarily in a bad way. It just seems very like you guys kind of have a specific rhythm and it doesn't deviate much from that. But at the same time, you have the Ace of Cups. So I feel like there's still like this really fun energy in terms of like that building connection. And the fact that you have this ace, there is still that like spark of something new that is building. So this could just be a sign. And the reason I say like I'm going to describe it and it's up to you is because I feel like sometimes people can be a little like nervous when they get into like or are kind of in the talking phase and they don't know how to relax yet. And it can come off as really rigid because they're trying to like be on their P's and Q's. And then over here we have the Queen of Pentacles and the Moon. So this feels kind of the opposite. Like really like there's the want to get to something stable, but things kind of go every which way, feels a little more all over the place. And therefore you're not sure of your true standing with Sky or where things truly lie between you guys. This could be a sign that, but I will say too, before I go into that, like just having the Queen here, there is still this element of caring and nurturing. So there's still good energy between both in general. But this one feels like you're looking for a little more structure. And this one feels very much like you're looking for less structure and more like, what's the word? Not flexibility, impromptu, but that's the wrong word I'm looking for. I feel like you probably get what I'm talking about. But yeah, I don't think that there's any, and so the reason I'm giving you the option to decide what's stronger is like, to me, this might seem stronger because I tend not to vibe well with the not wishy-washy, but just kind of like all over the place energy. I really like to know where I stand. And so, but that might not be for you. Some people don't like the rigidness of that and they like to just go, not impulsive. What is the word? I can't think of words today. But you get what I'm talking about. You get what I'm talking about. Thank you, Midnight. I try to make sense. Things make sense in my brain, and then when I say them out loud, I'm like, I hope this still makes sense. Okay, Whimsically, you are up next. Oh my gosh, what is that word? Like, when someone's like able to just up and do something without like a lot of planning, you know, stuff like that. What is it? What is that word? It's not impulsive, but I can't think of the good version of impulsive. Let's see, Whimsically, if you're on the right path. Spontaneity. Yes. Thank you guys. um that was gonna I was gonna be tossing and turning all night if I didn't get that. Okay. So whimsically we have the Hanged Man, the Ace of Wands, and the Strength card. So I do think you're on the right path. I just think that that path might be changing soon. And I think, and just to clarify, I'm not a believer of like, am I on the right path kind of person. I like to think that you're on the path that you're on, and it'll open you up to whatever opportunities you've been working towards or you're meant to have in the future, whether it might feel like it or not. So to me, all paths lead to somewhere. Just to explain what my backstory, because of the way that I feel like I'll explain this. So I feel like you might be unsure because whatever energy you've been putting in hasn't necessarily manifested yet, but I don't think that it's going to manifest in the way that you're hoping. With the Ace of Wands, this signifies something new is coming, but it's like a spark of something new that pops up. But aces in general kind of have this air of just success anyway. So whatever you're doing right now might not feel successful, but it might surmount to being successful in the future. There's just, you have to be a little patient, and you might need to change your perspective of what that success is going to look like. So this could be because of a few things, either too high of expectations, unrealistic expectations, or just the fact that when you started, whatever thing you expected simply changed, because that's just the nature of the thing. So I think, though, that you have to be a little resilient going down this path. Just be patient, and understand that it might at times take a little bit of elbow grease and oomph to get through. But I do think that, ultimately, if I were to sum it up to how people consider like paths, I think you're on the right path for you. It'll just open itself up to you soon. So I think the important part is that change of perspective. What is it that you were hoping to see? And because you are thinking along those lines, are you not seeing the actual opportunities that are popping up? I like this Strength card. And you have so I mentioned earlier, and I'll mention it here, the colors in this deck, the yellows and reds versus the blues and greens. The blues and greens tend to be a little more passive, and then the yellows and reds tend to be a little more active. So I like this balance here, where there's this passive moment of sitting and reflecting, and then there's this active moment of something changing, and then there's a balance between, slowly pushing forward, but that path is still active beneath you as you are moving forward. So just a little imagery for you guys. You're welcome, whimsically. Nice to see you. If you guys are doing anything for the new moon, by the way, let me know. I'm gonna not refresh, but like clean and like light candles on my ancestor altar. I was gonna do it tonight, but I think I'll do it tomorrow, just for the sake of time and clarity, even though the new moon is tonight. I know, Luna, I'm almost done. All right, let's see. See what's going to happen with you two for the rest of the year. So just to be transparent, since it's only 3 cards, I'll pull what I can, but the rest of the year is 5 months, so just keep that in mind. And let's go. So we have the World card, 5 of Swords, and the 7 of Swords. I think the rest of this year is going to look maybe a little different than you expected. So let me think about this for a second. Luna doesn't really demand treats. She will demand cheese, though. So with the World card, I feel like there's going to be just... I don't know that there is going to be any action that happens between you guys. I was trying to think this through in a way that doesn't feel so totally negative, but I don't... The World card to me is like the end of an era. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, but paired with the Five of Swords, which feels very much like just this internal battle that's happening. You can see here, like, the guy is, poking the other guy, very confidently so. But then at the same time, we have this Seven of Swords, which feels like there have been some, just the way things worked out was not how they were. It was expected to. So, I always like to give caveats when I don't have such positive things to say. I'm a girl slinging cards on the internet. Please don't uproot your lives or relationships for things that I say. But this feels very much like lying or cheating energy that feels like something is being hidden. So perhaps the end of the era is due to the fighting and the lies. So I don't know. I hope that I'm wrong in this energy here. Let me pull an oracle card for you. It just feels very much like the Five of Swords is just like constantly struggles both within yourself and like between you guys, and then all it's gonna do is end up in things being hidden from the other. Let's see. Oh, we have the Onion. The Onion looks like, well, I don't know that you can see it from down there. The Onion, like, okay, so looking at this intuitively, onions, when you cut them, kind of make you cry, right? But then when this one is cut open and, even though it was sad, something new is blossoming in the middle. So maybe it's saying, like, maybe you have to cut certain things out in order to allow new things to blossom this year. But yeah, I as a Shrek girly, onions are ogres are like onions. It comes to my mind all the time. So let me look up the Onion. It says that there are hidden layers, need for release, and self-protection. So and also like hidden intentions. It says an onion, it makes your eyes burn. As you peel away the layers of the onion, what is left at the heart is what really matters. We protect the soft part of ourselves with thick layers to shield our hearts. These layers are often necessary to move through the world, but can some be shed that are no longer serving you? So I think this is this indication of some things need to be shed, whether between you guys or just you guys, if that makes sense. But I would say that I don't think the actions that are being taken are towards a relationship. Yeah, I'm sorry. I haven't seen you in forever, Fatima, and then I feel like I'm giving you like awful news. Yeah, so sorry, going back, Luna is a cheeseaholic. Yes, that was my last person. So, okay, guys. Yeah, you're welcome, Fatima. Good luck with everything. I think I'm good to go for Fridays, for the next few Fridays. So I should be here more consistently now. Fingers crossed. Sorry about last week. But I will see you guys. I also, now that Sil made me bring my bones out, I think I want to do like lives either on Discord or Instagram, maybe both. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. So if you guys want to like follow along with whatever I decide, feel free to join my Discord. The bones will most likely be free until I can like get my shit together again with them. And I also want to test out my witches runes and some other things as well. So yeah, you guys are happy to be my guinea pigs, then join my Discord. Alrighty guys, everybody else, I will see you guys on the flip side. And yeah, have a great new moon. If you do anything exciting, share on Discord, and be safe.